Thank you. The woman that was up here earlier, she was talking about these children that don't fit, the square pegs that don't fit into a round hole, is what she was saying. And we have one of those little kiddos. And we have just learned so much from her, and we are so grateful for this child. What I want to know, there's two things. She has tons of anxiety. She's always afraid. And my husband and I want to know how we can help her live in this world. I mean, we understand that she's chosen to be here, and we're starting to understand that she's chosen to be how she is.
And how is that?
She's so sensitive. She feels everything so much. How do my husband and I deal with our own fear when we look at her and she's operating in a world where she doesn't really understand social nuances very well, and she's kind of naive, and we get afraid for her.
We know you do, but when you feel that fear, what that means is you're looking at the exact opposite of what you want. You're imagining her failing. You're imagining her being taken advantage of. You're imagining her not having a joyful life. But every time something like that happens, you put into your vibrational escrow a joyful life, a confident person, a person who makes her own way, a person who comes into vibrational alignment, a person who's guided at every corner, a person that has source energy with her always, a person that's intuitive, a person that has a really active guidance system, who knows when she's out of kilter better than almost anybody that you've ever met. And as you put those things in your vibrational escrow, now your work, like her work, your work, like her work, but your work, not her work, your work is to line up with what you've put in your vibrational escrow. And when you accomplish that, now you've got something to offer her. Put yourself in the position of your daughter. And let's say you're afraid something has got you out of whack and you really are afraid. And you look over and you see a mother or a father or both looking at you and knowing your well-being. You're afraid, but they know you have no reason in this world to be afraid, because they've practiced knowing who you really are, one fearful moment at a time. And it took you a week or a month to do it, but you now are up to speed with her inner being and your inner being. You know who she is, and you're not letting this nitpicking moment take you from that place that you've practiced yourself to be. How do you think she would feel as she feels the security of your knowledge about her? And how do you think she feels when she feels the insecurity of you? Now, compound that with all of the people who are clamoring around trying to help her be a whole person when she already is one. You see what we're getting at? She's come with a big message, and that big message is, I'm not broken, let me be. I'm not broken, let me be. And what you'll discover, someone who comes to know that they're not broken expands into more and more and more. Someone who is convinced, because of the comparative world in which you live, that they are broken gets more and 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 more afraid, as they are trained into thoughts that defy who they really are. And here's the biggest part of all of this, and this is true of everyone, not just your daughter, but feel the power of this. So you're living something, some contrast, which causes you to ask for more. Just the fact that you've asked for more makes where you are less tolerable than it was before you asked for it. Do you get that? Because you became more than you're letting yourself be. You cannot teach security from a place of insecurity. You cannot teach well-being from a place of fear. You've got to clean up your own vibration, not for your daughter, but for you. And when you do, you'll help your daughter. So now let's get to the big part of this. This feels like big reason to do all of this, doesn't it? In other words, of all things that a mother should want to do is clean up her vibration so that she can help this daughter that she loves with everything that she is. Sounds like a really big order of business, doesn't it? But if that's the reason you're doing it, it doesn't work, because the stakes are too high and what is what is, you got to find the thought that feels best about your daughter, because the thought that feels best about your daughter feels best about your daughter. When you introduce the ulterior motive of trying to be a good example so she can live a better life, now the life she's living enters into the picture, and now it's all out of whack again. Can you hear that?
Yep.
She's come forth to teach you the power of sensitivity. And when you sat down here, you spoke of sensitivity as if it was a deficit, as if it was something that is wrong with someone, and yet here you are having the same fearful emotion. So it's sort of like, I would like my daughter to get over being fearful so I don't have to be fearful about what she's fearful about. And we say, that's what she came to help you to get, you see.
And she's already taken us so far.
Well, be easy about all of it, and don't make such a big thing about everything, and do whatever you can to bring her from a place where she is not compared to so many other things. And then say to her things such as, oh, there are so many different things that people are good at. In other words, there are people that are really physically oriented, that take their greatest pleasure from those kinds of things. And there are people who are mentally oriented. There is so much variety in this world, and you'll find the thing that's just right for you. And just let that be the mantra that you are offering. But most of all, find it for yourself first. We can't do anything about you finding it other than hold the tone of it so that you can find it. And don't you love your blessed, sensitive, emotional guidance system that lets you know whether you're on or off the signal, on or off the signal, on or off the signal? Yeah. So in moments of exhilaration, you're on the signal. In moments of love, you're on the signal. In moments of hope, you're pretty close to the signal. In moments of fear, you're far from the signal. In moments of appreciation, you're right on the signal. And so watch for those moments for yourself and for your daughter, and just do your best to be on the signal. But do no coaching of your daughter or anyone else unless you're on the signal.
Okay.
That is the message for all teachers for all lifetimes. Do 100% of your coaching and mentoring from your place of conscious alignment with Source. Because anything you say from a place of not being tuned into that is not productive.
Okay.
Enough?
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.